So today I wanted to discuss a night I had a couple days ago where I just played Plus R for like 5 or 6 hours. I don't know. My idea during that was to learn a new character. I made Milia, but I want to learn a new character just cause. So I decided to go with Biken. Before I get on with what the video is actually about, I will say Biken is you really do have to play her totally different than from any other character. Uh, I played her a bit in Exerd, but actually trying to learn in Plus R and having the ability to guard cancel like almost any move into a punish is, it's hard to not rely on that. I did rely on that a lot, and I only found like maybe one player who adapted to it throughout the night, but yeah, it's actually pretty fun. It's actually really broken. But the point is, I played Biking in first, and then I noticed I was losing a bit. So I was like, okay, well maybe I should go to Milia to take some to get some wins. And the main reason I was thinking that is because in Plus R and like the lobbies, it shows your win loss rate, and I really don't like that because it makes me like have like a preconceived what's the word, like thoughts about who I'm going to play against before I actually play them. So if they have like a really high like number of matches, like thousands, or they have a really good win to loss ratio, it kind of like makes me a little nervous to not nervous to play them, but I'm a little more intimidated. I tend to like playing people around like the same amount of matches. So I have around like 800-900 matches. So I tend to play people around that many matches. Um, I don't really play any like the newer people, like people with like zero, barely like 50 or less matches played. I'll play people with 100 or more, and maybe I'll play like Biken or like a secondary I'm trying out just cause. But anyone with like thousands of matches, I'm like, once I get to that point, maybe I'll play them. But to be honest, I'm like, I'm probably not. I have played them before, and I've taken games, but like I don't know. I'd rather play people who I think are around my skill level because I think that's the most fun when playing a fighting game is playing people that are around your skill level. That's the best. But the point is, throughout the night, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get wins. So I played Milia, and Plus R is a game where I take somewhat seriously. I say somewhat because I never really played Plus R until it got the rollback patch. And I've been really playing it only because there really hasn't been any other new fighting games coming out. So Plus R has taken up a majority of my time. I mean, Plus R, and then sometimes I go to Fightcade every now and then to play some older games. But Plus R has been like the main fighting game I've been trying and learning. And it's been great. I really like it. I mean, I don't think it's a good tournament game because of how degenerate and how broken some of the better characters are. For me, anyway, I know some people, they'll do it anyway. But for me, if I were to go up against a really good Testament or Zappa or a Biken, I would just feel like shit and really demotivated to play the game if I were to lose. But yeah, I do take it seriously, or somewhat seriously. I want to win. I want to get better. I want to improve. And yeah, and that causes me to get a little more, I don't know, angry, toxic, one of those words. But since it's online only, and I saw someone else make a video about this, but I want to talk about it in a little more detail, is that when you're playing online, you are much more toxic because it's not like you're sitting next to the person, right? It's not like you can call them insults or tell them to, fuck off or anything like that. You're playing some anonymous person. You don't know who you're playing against, so you can just say whatever you want. And, it feels like it's fine. They can't hear you, and it doesn't really matter what you say. You can get angry and bitch all you want. It doesn't matter because they can't hear you. And I think that's a problem with online in general. It just breeds toxicity because of the anonymous factor. It's like no one knows neither of the players know each other. And since, you're not obligated to have good manners offline, you sit down, usually you say like good luck before the games start, and then you say GG's after. But in online, it doesn't matter. You can just go in, win one game, and then leave, or they can do the same to you, or something like that. But it's just online, just more toxic in general, and it's always been like that through any of the games I play, like played a lot of League in the past, League of Legends, and yeah, it's always been toxic, and it never will not be toxic. Maybe offline. I never really played League like offline with like a group of other 4 people, so I don't know how it is offline, but online it's terrible. But the main point is, I ran into this Faust player, and he was around my skill level. I did feel I was better than him, though. But the problem was, throughout the first 3 or 4 games, I was playing not up to the standard that I would be happy with. I was playing a little bad. I was missing inputs, things like that. And he ended up taking like the first 3 or 4 games. I was getting angry. I was getting real angry. I was saying mean things about him. I was just saying fuck. It was not so much mean things about him, which I feel like it's better to direct the anger at yourself rather than the player. It took me a while to do that, but I was just saying things like fuck, I can't believe I missed this, or I'm trying to do TK bad mood and I missed the input and I fucking dropped the input a lot, or dropped this combo, or dropped this carry. I was like fuck. Why do I keep doing this? Blah 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 blah. And he keeps jumping. Why am I not punishing it? But, I was just getting mad at myself. But what I did, though, is this is interesting, right? You lose 4 games and you're getting angry, so you think, okay, you're just going to tilt and you're just going to keep losing. But what I did, I somehow used that anger to motivate myself to play better, essentially. It's like, all right, be more aware of his habits. Stop being a fucking idiot. Be more aware of his habits. He's jumping a lot. Air to air him more. And that's what I did. I air to air him more, and I ended up winning like 8 games in a row, right? And then he took 2 more, and I won 1 more. And then overall, I won the set, right? Well, the set of games we play. I won more than he did. And, I was still like a little upset with myself after it was over, but I'm like, I didn't tilt. I was happy that I didn't tilt myself to the point where I just kept losing and losing. And I eventually took out a majority of the games using the anger, I guess, I had from the beginning of the set. The main point is these games are stressful, like really, really stressful. Fighting games in particular, since they're 1v1, you can only blame yourself for losing. And it can be rough if you play it too much. Like, I usually don't play for 5-6 hours, but I was just like oddly determined to keep playing until I felt like satisfied. That does happen every now and then. Usually I play like maybe 2 hours, 3, I don't know, but never, not really 5 or 6 hours. And I think that's too much of a fighting game, to be honest, for like one session, 5-6 hours. Offline's different. Offline, I can just keep going until you just can't go anymore. But online, I think 2 to 3 hours should be like a limit for most people. Probably even less than that. But the point is, since you're constantly thinking in these games, you're constantly trying to get a read on your opponent, trying to execute all the techniques that you need to do to win. And plus R is a complicated game, so you got to flawless defense in the air, flawless defense break. Got to watch out for proximity grabs. Got to do this, that. And Faust in general can be an annoying character to fight. I don't really have too much experience with Faust until I fought this guy. So there was a lot of jumping around, throwing bomb bags, throwing random ass items I had to deal with. So it was kind of a new experience, and it did take me a bit to get used to it. But once I did, I felt like I was more confident that I'm the slightly better player. Just slightly, though. He was a good player, though. Shout outs to him, though. He forced me to learn the Faust matchup. So that was good. But in general, it's good to take a break from these games. I learned a lot playing Plus R, or I learned a lot that night about like fighting games and Plus R. But Plus R is a stressful game. It's complicated and can be really annoying after playing it for so long. And it's good to take breaks, because these games can be very unhealthy for you if you just grind them out for too long. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's just, you need to take breaks. Watch something, play YouTube, or watch YouTube. Just sit, read a book, I don't know, something else. These games they affect your mentality in a way that's just not healthy after long doses. So it's much better to just take breaks when you can. Specifically for me, this is probably the last time I'll play Plus R, maybe until after Strive comes out. Maybe I'll play it again just to lab some stuff out, but I don't think I'm going online until after Strive comes out. Or assuming if I don't like Strive, maybe I'll go shortly, or maybe I'll just play Plus R still as like my main Guilty Gear game. I'm hoping Strive is like good though. I play the betas, I like them. The point is, don't let these games stress you out too much. If you feel like you're, if you feel like you're getting too angry, or if you feel like your mental state's in a bad place, just take a break. These games are great, and I love them. And I know many other people do love them for like the competitive aspect and the mind games and all that. But they can stress you out, and it can affect some aspects of your real life as well. So it's just best to take breaks. Okay, thank you for listening.